All right. Sorry about that. I think the stream also ended, and I'm back. So, um, wow. I, you know, just was creating this map just before, and for for whatever reason, I could not get the grid to show, and it was as simple as this right here. So overlooked. Literally thought it was enabled, and I couldn't figure out what's going on there. So apologies, um, and I hope that as I've said, I'm the simple DM here, and that means sometimes simple mistakes, and I hope it's not the mistakes we make, but how we face them and how we continue to progress. So I do have some very good things to show you today that I want to show. So we have our grid in place, and we have the bright teal that I'm going to keep a little bit bright right now, but whenever we get a little bit further into the creation of this map, I'm going to take it down so it doesn't interfere quite so much. But as shared, Josh provided these houses, but I wanted to have like a large snowfield, and I wanted to start first with Josh also provided another map that had trees and terrain as well. And I'm just working too large here. Just give me a moment. Zoom out. And he gave an image that had this terrain and these rock surfaces. And I wanted to create a snowball field that you can a snowball fight, because we have these yellow snowballs, we have these figgy pudding bombs. This can be either a PvP, this can be worked into your adventure. You can have your players versus NPCs. It could also be a new kind of play where you use this snow field to have NPCs versus NPCs, or for 4 teams of NPCs, and have them compete on this this snowfield. Was even thinking as well, you could have sugar plum fairies or fairies kind of like moving through the field and maybe controlled by the DM or by charisma rolls, where these pixies are delivering, these snow pixies are delivering munitions to everybody on the snowfield. See a little bit of chat coming through before I move into the creation of this map. Stack cannonballs and make them white from Drake Tales. I might have missed the beginning of that thread. All right. But yes, snowball fight. That's what we're going for, Drake. Snowball fight. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of obstacles and terrain for each of the different parties to utilize. And Josh, let's see, I don't have his full image in there. I want to show that, so I'm going to really quickly go up to Assets, launch my folder, which will happen off of screen. And I want to drop his full map in, so you can see what he provided there. Almost with you. Okay. It's called Rocks Map, and as soon as I refresh, now Josh's Rocks Map appears. And this is what he provided. Another excellent, and this will be in the Krampus Clause supplement on the Forge. So, very nice there. And what I did was I went ahead and broke this up, and I took out this terrain and this terrain for use in our snow field. I see the excitement in chat for figgy pudding bombs, and yes, from these even higher terrains, perhaps they will prove very effective. So we will first take that, one of these terrains, and drop it right into our map. It creates a new layer there. And I took the other, make sure I'm grabbing the right one, other rock ledge, popped it out of there, allowing for a divided snowfield to have equal cover and opportunities for tactical play. So that's very quickly. You don't want to give them too much room to hide in the middle. If you're going for something in the middle, you want a price to pay. So we'll get those right there. And now we'll zoom in just to see our grid a little bit. And we will begin to create our terrain on these rocks. I'll zoom in on it a little bit here, holding down my mouse click to move and drag. Get my off of my selector. You have with the wall tool, with the terrain tool, or the line of sight tool with the terrain tool, you have the selector tool, you have the line tool, you have the rectangle tool, and the circle tool. We are going to be working with the line tool on this terrain, and we have several different, we have wall, we have terrain, we have door, toggleable wall, window. We're going to be working today with the wall, terrain, our doors, and our windows for the maps that we're creating. But right now, we're just on this snowfield, and we want to create terrain to both hide behind and to climb upon for greater elevation. So we're going to select again that line tool, and we can just click and drag right around this shape. Great, a little bit of, you know, this could be a little bit more accurate. I can get into these grooves a little, or these alcoves a little bit around this rock. Yeah, it does seem like there's places to hide within there. So we'll cut it out. Oh. Wow, this is a nice vantage point for them. And then actually, I don't know if that, yeah, we're gonna leave it like that right now, because I can't see in there far enough. It looks like there's a tree growing there, but that is a rock. I think it's, yes. So we're gonna leave it quite a defensive and offensive position. So definitely, I think, maybe make the players roll for which side. But over here, we'll complete the terrain on this rock. And I just love how smooth the line tool is. Truly. I mean, it is just liquid. It's so responsive. Really. I'm sure that took great testing and care, because it is just dropping those nodes so effectively. Just awesome. All right. So this is great, but what is a snow field without snow? So we're going to drop an effects panel or layer right on here right away. And we're going to give it some snow. Lots of options in here: rain, snow, blizzard, mist. We're not going to go for a full blizzard, but perhaps in your game you do want to have a blizzard, and you can just unlock the image, go to this layer, and up that snow. There are as well, you'll see, controls for the amount of snow, the intensity, the size of the flakes, and you'll see that there's even depth to it. Here, let's get this grid down a little bit. It's kind of interfering. Coming in from Drake Tales, wondering how far my chat's like literally getting covered. How far someone has to throw a snowball on that map. A 5e snowball would be 20 or 60 feet, maybe. At least this Florida boy's opinion on the travel distance of a snowball. Well, yes, yeah. I think that that's fair. And I too am a Florida boy, but I have a lot of Midwest experience with snowballs informing the stats on those. But yeah, for sure. I think 20 to 60 feet is fair. But getting back into this snow that is falling, and I was kind of mentioning, there's a depth to it. There are flakes falling closer, higher up, and flakes falling smaller, like lower down. I mean, there's really nice depth. I don't know if you can see that as we dive into it. But now we got our snow going. And we're at 30 minutes, so I want to get into the house. But this is just one of the maps. And one of the things that I was thinking with it is you could take it even further. You could drop like kind of like gopher holes like all over that are discoverable by digging up patches in the snow, and it can almost be like a advent calendar adventure where your players are literally like dugging it all over the snow field while in combat to uncover these caches. As well, Josh, as I shared, revealed tons of cavern maps and underground like frozen frost maps. You could have discoverable large caches underneath. I might mention that whenever this supplement is available on the Forge, that it will include 10 random encounters as well as parcels with those random encounters that kind of meet along with that vision of dropping caches all along this snowfield. Yeah, DM Randor agreed. Icy conditions make dangerous snowballs. I think there should be a distinction between those that are soft packed and those that have been frozen. I really appreciate that. I think it's even worth a side note here with the snowballs. So we got item, we got yellow snowballs. Again, we're just going to drag that to duplicate it, so we're not redoing all of our work. And we got the snowball copy. And, well, it's just a note, so not a big deal that I'm duplicating it, but needs to be created in the items. Oh, unlock. Needs to be created in the items, so ice balls. There we go. Okay, thank you. All right, so we got our snow. I don't know, not much adjustment to it, but perhaps just a bit. Maybe a little bit less, so it's not just too much of a distraction. Take the size down a little bit so that it complements the reality of the field. just referring back to the chat there and enjoying your discussion on sleep balls and all sorts of things. And we can kind of already see them flying here on the snow. Let's just demonstrate here how this works before moving on to the map itself. But go into our play roar and enable. Oh. And we're going to get... We introduced these NPCs in my party sheet last week, or last session. Cloud Ank, encounters, Dame tables for tables, Image Mirage, Parcel the Cleric, Quester the Barbarian, and Storybook, I believe the Bard. And so we'll drag one of these in. Oh, silly me. We need to get them into the combat tracker first. And so we'll do that. We'll just work with him right now for time. Is my token layer locked? No, it's just so small. Oh dear. All right, so we got him in there. Get a better view on this map. And we can see his terrain is kind of working for him a little bit there. But that's his view. Meaning it's working perfectly, but my definitions, I'm saying. But you can see his visibility behind. Attempting to move in there a little bit, and if he gets on top of it, obviously he has elevated view. Coming around behind here, anyone hiding behind that rock is hidden from his view. Very nice. Really just love even just watching it work. But we're going to really watch it work in our creation of the homestead, which we'll get to right now. So we have two different options. We can obviously redo all of this work, or we can go into our, oh, that's my old one from the prep. We can go into I believe this is the one we were just working in. Yep. We can go right in here and duplicate it just by simply clicking and dragging. And then we will open this up. Now we have our snow field that we're working with this supplement. And we will already have our snow in place. I believe it's still there. Let's see. Yeah, it's still there. So we got that in place. We're going to unlock it. And we are going to rename it the Krampus Claus Homestead. And first thing we're going to do, I shouldn't have even locked it because we're working in it. Going to go ahead and get rid of these rock faces here. And we may have to contend with our line of sight, but just give me a minute. All right, but we're going to get right into placing our house. Let's see, did I? Yeah, no, I can't remember if I had the intention of leaving those in there, because there was the potential that we could have the snowball fight ensue, and then once they reach a certain point, that this house between, or this homestead between the two um, vantage points or terrain, like appears. But let's just work on it this way for right now. So we have our snowfield, still the same one that we're using, and we want to get the homestead right in on the map. Okay. Wow, just dropped so perfectly. Feathered around the edges to complement the map. Again, for those just joining us, the map had a boundary, but in order to create a larger tactical map, I created this snow field that complemented Josh's brushstrokes in his own courtyard. So we have this house. One of the things about this was that there was obviously this opening in the gate just speaking to me. And I thought, here we have a great opportunity to have the players search this fence. They may even be searching over here and really drawn to here. Why is there this distinction here? But if it's opening, or if it's open, then they just know it's open. So went ahead and created from, and we'll zoom in here so you can see this a little bit better. Went ahead and created, pardon me. Went ahead and created from this length here. It really is just a reverse image of this portion of the fence itself. And you can bring it here and drag it in. And now, perhaps a little bit better work could be done. We have this, is that really joined there? Perhaps you could do a little bit more of a black, like, shadow to provide more of a distinction. I was even thinking that up here looked like a good candidate for a second gate, that we could pop that right there out and throw another shadow underneath and create another gate there, which would make a lot of sense if we had the tactical positions here, because that would provide a door entry that's more accessible to this team and a door entry that's more accessible to this team. Really nice there, but did create this gate to provide that. I'm going to take the grid down right now. I don't know about you, but it's just too bright for me. And we're already kind of getting there. So we just, look at that. And the teal kind of just really complemented the glow of it. But a little is enough on at least the interior part. And the rest of the time, your tokens, if you've so indicated, are snapping to that grid anyways. So, all right. Oh, we need to place the interior as well. So I want to drop that on. And move it into place. Snapping right to the grid and looking fantastic. Nice drop down view right in there. We'll drop some lighting. We're going to do windows. We're going to do doors. We're going to do walls. And we're going to do this fence as well as the gate and demonstrate that with a token, of course. So I don't know how, there are many different ways to do this. I don't know how you prefer to do it. I like to start with terrain, windows, and doors, just so that they're kind of in place and I'm working with them. So we've already done a terrain, but we're going to go ahead and make sure I have everything on. Okay. Again, we're going to be working with the line tool as well. Reminder, rectangle and circle tool, but we're going to work with the line tool. And And there is this little rock cropping right up against the house, unless it is a covered tree with snow, which it may very well be, but you know, it's close enough that I thought it was an interesting placement for a rock. Perhaps that should have set me off that it's a tree. But for our purposes, either way, I mean, it's a tree, it's terrain, it's hideable behind. But in my mind's eye, I was kind of seeing it a little bit as a rock. And we got that in place there. And over here, again, I think maybe I'm dealing with the same thing, that this is perhaps a tree, but in your mind's eye, perhaps it is a rock, and it offers more cover and opportunity here within the courtyard for tactics. Very nice. And again, just wow. And I know that even more improvements are coming to the path tool. Like, I hear things that are coming. You know, it's already so elegant, but I can't wait to be able to have even greater control. Amazing. We'll keep moving. We'll keep in the interior view. And we're going to drop some windows right away. Now over here you'll see there is, and we want to kind of be sensitive to where we're going to ultimately end up having our wall line. Now these walls have perspective so that you can enjoy both the floor and the wall. But it's really not going to interfere with what we do with tokens. So just be mindful of the experience and providing the line of sight for the experience, not always for the map or for the grid. So we're going to place, we're going to place our window right here. And we're going to let it fall right about where, I actually need that to be a little bit wider, I think. So I'm going to start at the stone line for the window. It's not ultimately going to end up being, as long as it's intersecting the wall, it'll be great. But I'm going to put a window there, and there is one you could almost miss here, but definitely there. Another window. And then we have what I believe is our only door. In here. Very nice. And just making sure, but yeah, that's that. We got two windows, a door, we got our terrain outside, and now we're going to make it all come together with the walls. I mean, I could demonstrate some of this, but just for time, I think we're going to keep moving right through it so that it can all be demonstrated at once. But now we have our door, our windows, and we need our walls, of course. So you can start just about anywhere. Do I have my line tool selected? And you drop your first node. Now you can see it's, you know, totally loose. If I hold the shift key, it moves it at angles and right along the grid as well. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of that. I'm going to be holding down the shift key because I want nice straight edges. Go right up to, maybe even cross a little bit if you're concerned. And then all we do to finish a line is double click. And the line is then complete. So we can start our next one on the other side of the window. Oh, not holding the shift key. And that line's a little bit off. I'll spare you guys. I won't redo it. Okay. But again, double click. And then hold that shift key all the way around so we see that nice perspective on the wall. And oh, look, there we go. This is looking really good. I'm tempted to go ahead and preview it, but we're going to do the wall first. Oh, there we go. All right. So, all right. Got to be mindful of this gate, of course, that we have placed. Where is my gate that I placed? All right. Okay. That's strange. What am I? Oh, psh, thank you. My goodness. See, I left myself in the line of sight. You guys are maybe screaming at me. All right, so back in the layers. Got to be mindful of our gate there. We want it to be able to be movable, droppable, burnable, all of the above. And it is there. Now, drop back into our line of sight that I just left to demonstrate the gate. And we are going to do another wall on this wall. Let's see here. I need to be able to see where that door is. And again, I spoke earlier that I like to do doors first. And this door is no different. And it will be cool because when the gate is open, you see out into the field at angles from within. So it is an important door to have, and it functions just like any other door in Fantasy Grounds. Not like a window, like a door. Select the rectangle. We got our door in place. It might be a little, might need a little more depth, but I think we're going to be okay. And we will begin our fence wall, which this one's kind of fun. This one has a nice like guidepost for us in the posts. So we just click upon each post head, and it's going to make this one, there's a little bit of a jut. It's going to make for a really gorgeous looking line of sight. I speak because I've seen it. You know, and is it appropriate to have a full wall here with those slats? I don't know. I considered it, you know. Anyone have any suggestions? But I think it's still providing, I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to form the words that it's providing more than half cover, but you can debate it with your players. Really, I love this shape. Just check in chat. Which I may or may not be receiving fully. Appreciate everybody participating and watching. And again, this module or supplement, not a module, this supplement for the season will be available on the Forge next week. You know what? Use double terrain border for containing the, yeah, okay. Excellent. Oh. And now I was just undoing the 1 point and reading the chat, and now I deleted my whole wall. All right, double terrain border. All right. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea because they could climb the fence and be standing on top of it. I kind of like that. Let's see, we're at 12:52. Yeah, I like that. All right, maybe we'll go a little bit over, but yeah, I like that. Thank you for the tip, Evo Dynamic. Really appreciate that. It will be a little bit of a strange perspective. Wow, this is going to be ambitious. I don't even, it's not going to pick up like that. Shoot. All right. Let's see here. Well, I guess we may have been we may have been better off to go with the wall for right now for the sake of the video. Yeah, I think we are, but excellent idea. And I like that. Great tactical concept too, and play concept for their players to consider. So I really like that. But the wall does work very nice. All right. Luckily we have these posts, so I'm not really reinventing what I just did. And I won't laud their praises as I did the last time. I'll just move quickly. Pardon me. Really just loving the texture on this map though. So evocative. Just really like it. And just, yeah, just the tone and the palette of this dark aged like elm fence, and the way the highlights are hitting it with the glow of the snow. And when it gets demonstrated in line of sight, oh, pardon me, it's quite a spectacle. I like it. I like it. Great work, Josh. Thank you for having the idea to do this and inspiring us with your talents and creations. Now I am up here going to do a break on the wall because I want this to be jointed here. So just again, that double click to end that line, and we're gonna, and I do have a little bit of an issue there in the image from my crop that will not be in the final version. But, no, I don't want to. I want to fully overlap. Don't want anything peeking through there. Yeah, I'll just start another one. There we go. I mean, I suppose that might have been fun, but again, getting this wall in place on all of the posts. And that should be up, double click. That should be enough. Oh, did it again. That should be enough for our gate. Did we end up deleting our door? I don't think so. We may have. What am I doing? There we go. Weird. Okay. So I think we did delete our door. Let me just double check. Yep, I think we did. So we'll drop the door in there. And we're just covering it. Did it appear with it? Oh dear. What am I doing? Oh, jeez. I'm on the selector tool. Unbelievable. All right. Now I'm building a wall. We got it. We got it. The door. Rectangle. And there we go. Beautiful. Awesome. And we will just move that gate back into place because you'll want to be free to hide that or remove that based on the events of your session. Thank you, Evo Dynamic. I certainly need the encouragement. You know, before we go before we demonstrate, I just want to drop one light on this table. Just one little lantern light. I guess I should be talking about it more. So I select my lighting up here, and we have several options here, but just for time, we're going to be adding a light. The behavior that we're going to want is not the flicker. It's going to be a lantern. So we want it to pulse. And under the presets, you'll see that we have candles, lamps, torches, lanterns. I'm going for well, I don't know. I was going to go for a lantern and had earlier, but look at that warm glow on that desk. A torch might serve better for ambiance. So just make sure. Did I set it? I never clicked here, did I? Okay. Very good. So just wanted to have that one light on the table before we demonstrate. Now we will drop into our play view. Enable line of sight. Enable oh, we got the lighting on the table there showing through. Oh, because I didn't. All right. Let's drop back. All right. We are right at the end here, so I am going to get this demonstrated. What did I leave off? All right, beautiful. Any help in chat would be... Oh, there we go. Got it. Thank heavens. All right, so we're demonstrating it here. And there we got that. But if he gets up on top of there, he's got the van. Let's zoom in more so you guys don't miss it. And let's get this. Let's get this big. All right. See that teal coming through. He's up on this ledge or snowy tree. Up. There we go. And where did it? Am I in the? Yep. So if we were to, no, that is, I must have moved something. Oh dear, guys. What did I do? All right. Well, learning curves, right? This is what I want to show though. Looking through that window, the window's still in place. Looking through that window, the closer you get to the window, the more you see into the room. Here's the window, the closer you get, the more you see into the room. If we come over here and we open this door, look at that. Peering through the window, sees all the way through the house and what's coming up to the front door if that door is open. the door's closed, can't see all the way through. You can see we did have a little bit of that problem that I was talking about at the edge there. I left too much of a gap, and we have light getting through the fence. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's something to like be utilized there, but coming into the door, and of course our door over here for the gate. If that gate has been removed, if I can remember which layer it was here, because I didn't label it right. Yeah, if that gate has been removed, then the players can see through it. And the vantage point changes a little bit there. But our whole wall shifted. How disastrous. But if it was in place, that would look quite nice and passing through. But it will be correctly skewed. I think I just shifted the graphic. It will be correctly skewed when available on the Forge next week. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of that demonstration, a little bit of a hiccup early with the grid, and missing that visibility of the grid. It's amazing the little things that you take for granted and just don't think about. But remember to click your eyes and cross your T's and make everything visible. So I hope you enjoyed. Again, this coming to the Forge next week, a Krampus Clause supplement with maps, items, NPCs, and art for your season. Thank you for joining us, and of course, join us tomorrow at a new time, noon, for Fantasy Grounds Friday. Paulette and I will be sharing the new releases and sales for the week. Full sales back this week to share on Friday. We've been enjoying the autumn sale and Steam sales, but regular cycle this week to share many of the titles that we're excited for you to add to your VTT library. Until next time, we'll see you real soon.